What's going on, guys? Failed to listen. Welcome back to more Failed Thoughts, and in this video we're going to discuss 30 frames a second versus 60 frames a second. Is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Is it a game changer? Is it not a game changer? Can you tell the difference? Can you not tell the difference? 110% absolutely yes. No question about it. It's a game changer. I can tell the difference. It's a big deal, however you want to put that. Anyone saying otherwise is in some extreme denial or needs to have their eyes checked. I'm not going to lie, some people are a little more sensitive to this kind of thing than others, but I think just about anyone could probably, at the very least, tell the difference between something like 30 and 60 frames. Like, take example, something that I consider to be a pretty good looking game on the current generation hardware. It's a pretty good looking game, and I think it also runs at 60 frames a second throughout the entire experience, is the Star Wars Battlefront game. Play that game on your your 360, excuse me, your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4, and then go back and play something like GTA 4 or Killzone or some other 30 FPS multiplayer game on your 360 or your PS3 or something. There is a huge difference. Like, I think oftentimes I've done this. I know I've been guilty. I think we've all probably done this, especially those of us that have been spoiled on 60 frames. Sometimes we will say that, oh man, 60 frames a second looks so much better than 30 frames a second, but what we really mean to say is that it feels so much better. The controls feel better, they feel more responsive, the gameplay, the animations happening on screen, everything just feels better. It's not just an opinion, right? The performance in a game, if it's higher than, in this case, 30 frames versus 60 frames is objectively a better experience. This cannot be denied. Again, I'm sure there are people out there that have the Ubisoft syndrome and feel like 30 frames a second, even if it's a solid throughout the entire experience, somehow it's a better experience or it's more cinematic. These people are in denial. Like, they either just haven't experienced enough 60 frames a second games, or again, they need their eyes checked. Most recently, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if he was in his elitist mode or whatever the case was. I read a comment on NeoGAF from a PC gamer saying that both 30 frames and 60 frames were garbage to him. It's just that 60 frames was a lot less garbage. I'm assuming this person has been gaming on 120 hertz monitors or 144 hertz monitors over the last few years and have become spoiled on that. Some people say, you know, it's diminishing returns after so many frames and that you can't tell the difference after 60 frames. That is also a lie. Again, some people are just more sensitive to that kind of thing than others. But again, and don't make the mistake of thinking that I'm saying that we can't have fun as gamers at 30 frames a second. I've played games at sub 30 FPS and had a really awesome time. Red Dead Redemption is quite possibly, it's possible if I really thought about it, my favorite game of all time, and that game does not run very well at certain points in the experience. It just doesn't. It's not a solid 30 FPS game. It's just how it is. It's a fact of that game. So I really loved Red Dead Redemption, but there's no denying I would have had a lot more fun. I would have had a much better experience, even if it was at 720p, if Rockstar would have somehow been able to accomplish 60 frames a second, a solid 60 frames a second on both the PS3 and 360. Again, it's still a great game. Most recently, I played Sunset Overdrive. I think that's a 30 frames a second game. Probably has dips here and there. None that I noticed, at least early on in the game, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, I don't want to say that. There was probably some dips that I was experiencing now that I think about it, but Sunset Overdrive, it's, you know, from what I played, what little I did play, it's a fun game, and it doesn't run at 60 frames a second or higher. I'm not saying that we can't have fun. I'm saying that just realize and understand and do not deny that 60 frames or higher is objectively a better experience. It is superior. I want this to become an industry standard, but as long as, you know, again, developers want to push more, you know, visuals, better textures, so on and so forth, that are going to put strain on the hardware and really push the hardware, then 60 frames a second may never be the industry standard, but maybe that's what Sony's pushing for. Maybe this isn't just, going to be a 4K Netflix type of Blu-ray upgrade coming with the PlayStation 4.5. Maybe they understand more than ever that performance is a very big deal, and hopefully Microsoft understands that as well. I think a lot of the Nintendo Wii U exclusives, I don't know, what the resolutions are for all of those games, but a lot of those run at 60 frames a second. Nintendo understands that performance plays a huge factor in the gameplay experience. It's better, guys. Objectively, this isn't a matter of opinion. It's objectively a better experience when you have higher performance, and I'm more of a performance guy. Now, I have a pretty good PC. I don't usually have to make those sacrifices and those compromises when wanting to play at 60 frames a second while still having really nice visuals. I don't usually have to do that. So I have that luxury, but if I was a console-only gamer, I would still have that mentality of, yeah, I'd like nice visuals because I do care about graphics. I'd like nice visuals. But they don't have to be like mind-blowing or amazing. It's cool if you can give me mind-blowing or mind-blowingly amazing graphics, but if you can't give me the performance that goes along with it, it's a little bit disappointing. Again, I'm not saying you can't have fun at 30 frames a second, but 60 frames, it's a good sweet spot, man, and hopefully at some point we can get there and it can become the industry standard. That's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed my take. I'm sure you all have your own take on 60 frames a second versus 30 frames a second, but understand objectively, and understand what that means, what that word actually means, first of all. It's a better experience, man. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. That's going to be a wrap on that topic. Again, I do have a Resident Evil 4 review that I'm going to be working on here soon, so that should be coming in the next few days to a week. And I did this video now, so that's out of the way. I almost said I'm going to do my 30 frames versus 60 frames a second video. Also, I asked this question on Twitter. Also, if you're not following me on Twitter, you should probably do that. I asked some of the people on Twitter. I have a huge backlog, and I'm kind of I've been thinking about playing some of these games and seeing if I can get into them, but would you guys like to see me review outside of Resident Evil 4? Would you like to see me review stuff from the Battlefield series, Assassin's Creed series, maybe name some games? I might have them, I may not, and if I do, I will try to get to them and I will try to review them, but it's like a time issue, and obviously I don't sit and game all day, so I've got other things going on, just like anyone else. At least I hope you've got something else going on aside from sitting around and playing games for 16, 18 hours a day. So that's my video, that's my take, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the support. The continued support has been really awesome. You guys are great. Take it easy. Peace.
Citizens reporting a vehicle explosion